Thank you so much for checking out my channel today. It means a lot that you stopped by. Today I wanted to talk to you about mental health. Now, I know it's a taboo subject, right? And there's a little bit of a stigma attached to it, but it seems like lately it's coming more into the light and it's getting easier for people to talk about and becoming maybe a little bit more accepted than it was, in the past years. Now, some people are of the opinion that if you admit to having depression or anxiety or PTSD, that you're weak or you're broken, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. That's exactly what keeps people from getting help and from telling their families and their friends, I had depression, I have anxiety, I have PTSD. And when people feel like they can't talk to their family or their friends about it, that's when, unfortunately, bad things happen. As an Army veteran, I know way too many fellow vets that couldn't talk about their problems. They felt too proud and they felt like, I can deal with it. That's just not the case. You can't deal with it on your own. You need family, you need friends, you need support of your loved ones. My personal experience has been you act a certain way, right? Due to your depression or your anxiety or your PTSD. You lash out, you get angry, you get frustrated. You have a short temper, you have a short attention span. Sometimes you hide your emotions. Sometimes you keep your emotions in and you keep your anger in or your frustration in, and you feel like nobody cares, so why should I share it? I'll be honest with you, coming into this video, I typed out a whole bunch of stuff. Being new to YouTube, I wasn't sure, okay, maybe I should type it out so I know my thoughts, but as I'm talking with you right now, and I am talking with you right now, more of me is coming out, okay? Just my personal experience, and that's what I want to share with you. That's what this channel is about, is my personal experience. Like I mentioned, several veterans that I know, that I was friends with, they chose, the hard way out for their families, and because they kept in their emotions or they didn't know how to process their emotions. That's my situation. As I mentioned in my previous video, I was in the military, in the Army for nearly 20 years. I was injured. It's all I knew, right? And all of a sudden it's taken from me. I can't be in the military anymore. I can't be in the Army anymore. I can't serve my country anymore. And that's the one thing that I felt that I was good at. Now, what do? I relied on the Army for support, for my family, for my kids, my mortgage, everything. And so now, I have to start all over again, and it was difficult. On top of it, my boys were little. They didn't understand that I couldn't pick them up anymore, that I couldn't wrestle with them anymore, that I couldn't give them piggyback rides or play cowboys, horses with them and ride my back. Like, they didn't understand. They just thought that Dad didn't care anymore or whatever. On a more personal level, it affected my, my marriage as well. But because my life changed all of a sudden, and because I was no longer able to do what I did before, things like martial arts and running and biking and all kinds of activities, I couldn't do that because of the pain that I had now. Because I couldn't do those things anymore, I developed depression, and that built up, and it really affected me. Besides, that, I also have been dealing with anxiety, and that would be for a later video. That's going way back into early childhood trauma and abuse. But today, this video is what I'm trying to get across to you. What I want to tell you is that you're not alone, right? It's vital that you share your feelings with your spouse and your your children if they're old enough, and your friends and your family, so they know what's going on inside of you, right? Let them know how you feel. I didn't do that. I didn't recognize that I had really anger issues, or I was short with people, or and it affected everything. I have PTSD, and not from the military, but from some childhood trauma and bad stuff. And but recently, as of 3 months ago, I finally came to the realization that something is going on here, because I would, from one day to the next, I would be happy and content and, just joyful. And literally the next day, a switch would flip, and I just didn't want to be where I was at anymore. Not that I ever wanted to do anything bad. I didn't get to that point, but I just didn't want to be around people anymore. I wanted to be by myself. And that would happen, and I knew that wasn't normal. So I sought out a therapist and talked to the therapist, and they discovered, hey, you have PTSD. Let's treat it. And that's what I did. And that was 3 months ago, and my life changed, right? Because before I would lose interest in doing things. I didn't want to get up. I'd sit on the couch all day and yawn and be tired, and I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to go outside, and I had to make myself get up. Okay, Jim, get up. Go do something. Get outside. Go volunteer. So, something just to get my mind off of whatever was going on with me, being depressed or whatever. So I got help 3 months ago. I sought out somebody, and I've been treating that for 3 months now, and it was like a 180. It was a total change, right? I no longer have those thoughts of hey, I don't want to be here anymore, like in this house or at home or around people, not on earth. Okay. So, because I'm happy with my life, right? I'm happy with my life and everything. But it's just important for you to, talk to somebody, right? If you have anxiety, if you have depression, if you have PTSD or whatever, those are things that could be helped. Let your family know, your loved ones know, so they know what's going on and they can help you. If they don't know what's going on, they just think that you're getting angry, or they just think that you don't want to hang around them, or if they think those things, well, they think them for the wrong reasons. Help them know what's going on with you. Say, hey man, I'm depressed. I'm really anxious. I get these chest pains or whatever, which I get. Try to stay positive and talk to somebody. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's just important, to share those feelings you have. So, I just want to let you know, you're not alone out there. I thought that I was for a while, and nobody would understand. Nobody would get it, but that's not the case. So, now I have friends that I talk to, and they'll call me. Hey man, how you doing? You doing okay? Yeah man, I'm doing good, thanks. Super happy. Let's hang out. Those kind of things. I started volunteering on a more regular basis with the USO, and so I'm also a magician, like I mentioned before, and so I go and I do magic, for the guys at the USO, the soldiers out there, the students out there. And that brings me joy, right? And sharing that wonder and through magic brings me joy, and it makes me happy every day. Long story short, well, sorry, maybe not so short, right? But just take a look at yourself and in a very honest light, and ask yourself, are these feelings that I'm having are they worth keeping in? And you'll find that they're not. Okay, so take care of yourselves. Let your families love you, and they will understand you, and they'll help you, and you'll find over time that you'll start to feel better about yourself, and maybe those feelings that you're having of anxiety or depression, they might start to diminish, and you'll start to feel better. So that's it. That's pretty much all I have to say is just take care of yourselves. Thank you for checking out the video. I look forward to seeing you in the future, and take care. Bye.